What's going on, guys? Fit on Fire here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking just about air attacks in general. Last time I got into scouting and kill squads a little bit more in depth. I just kind of want to throw out some more general air tips and things that have helped me be successful in raids, and let's kind of get right into it. So, a couple of things I want to point out. So when you first pull up a base, deciding whether it's a good target, there's a few things to look at. The first thing is the queen alive. There she is. So I probably want to try to use my kill squad on this top area here. Especially since there's an air defense right at the top there as well. If I can get the queen and air defense with my kill squad, let's see, and I have, 8 wizards, a dragon, and my heroes. So what is my kill squad? So plus a few wall breakers. So 8 wizards is 32, plus a dragon, that's 52. So my kill squad is essentially 58 troop spots. Let's just call it 60. With 60 troop space, if you can take out the queen and air defense and maybe snag a couple other defenses, that's decent value, and it's going to go a long way. Taking out that 4th air defense is really impactful. So think about that. Try 60 troop space for a kill squad, 10 to 15 minions, 18 to 22 balloons, and at least 2 hounds. You can have a 3rd in your clan castle. I've usually just been taking extra balloons in my clan castle because the 3rd hound sometimes doesn't really seem to give me that much value. It just ends up on the other side of the base by itself and then just gets blown up. So I just like having the extra balloons. But you feel free to experiment with the kill squad. I've used a bunch of different stuff. I've used wizards, I've used giants, I've used hogs, I've used valkyries. The hogs didn't work so well. The Valkyries I cut out just to cut out the extra DE expenditure, but the Valkyries worked just fine, tossing in 3 or 4 Valkyries and having them, tear up a couple of defenses and help, support the heroes. I just like having the extra firepower on the wizards, and then usually a baby dragon to help funnel. I happen to have an extra dragon this time, so I just went ahead and used it. So, the other thing I want to point out here is be careful when they have defenses on the outside like this. If I were to launch like a bunch of balloons up here, those balloons are like a big clump of them are going to instantly target that stuff outside. Then all of a sudden you have this huge clump of balloons that's moving into the base together, and that is not what you want. You want your balloons nice and spread out when they're going to the base, so you can get a few balloons on each of the defenses on the perimeter there. So let's first start with the kill squad. I just use my king as a tank. You may want to take a couple of giants to help tank that archer queen and give you time for your archer queen to take the enemy one out. My king didn't get a whole lot of value here, except for, he was able to tank for the queen, so, that helped. Like I said, if you can get a few defenses, the archer queen and an air defense with your heroes, that's pretty decent value. And that's, typically what I do. So my Archer Queen, fortunately, was able to survive here and then was able to pick off a couple more defenses. Here's the other thing I want to talk about. So I'm actually going to back out of this replay. I'm going to go back in from the beginning real quick because I want to show where I launched the hounds from, because this is real important. Launching the air attack after you launch or you get your kill squad in, whether you were successful in getting an air defense or not, you're still going to pretty much do it the same way. So fortunately, I was able to get an air defense. Let's just pause it right there. Now, because there's a little gap here, you want to attack against the gap, and I've said this in many videos where I'm talking about funneling and things like that. You want to attack against the gap because that's going to force your troops along the area wall because there's no targets on the other side. So you can attack from this side, you can attack from the other side. Now, the reason why I didn't attack from the other side is because I have these defenses right here, and my balloons are gonna get all clumped up if I attack from that side. So because my dragon was able to take out those defenses on the other side, I have this pretty free and clear zone right here where I know my balloons are going to trickle in and target a bunch of different defenses. So here is the most important part of the air raid. If you can get this right, you will have success. If you can get this part right, you will have success with your air raids. And I'm going to go ahead and guarantee that. I will guarantee that you succeed if you do this the right way. And if you don't, I want to see the replay. So it's a 3-step thing. First of all, pick your side that you want to attack from. And when I say side, I don't mean like, oh, I'm going to launch all my balloons in this small area here. I want your balloons in a nice spread out area, and I want them to cover pretty much one side of the base. What I kind of do visually is I kind of draw a line between these air defenses, and I'm saying that's pretty much the length of how I want to spread my balloons out. That's pretty much the distance I want to cover, because I know that maybe even a little further outside to get these couple of archer towers out here, because once these are all taken out, everything is going to move into the core from this area. Everything's going to move into the core. So I know if I cover that spread, my balloons are pretty much going to go into the core. If I launch my balloons from, let's say, this right here, I'm going to have balloons veering off to the side over here, and then I'm going to have balloons veering off here, and then I'll have some that will go into the core, but it's not going to be as impactful as if I cover that whole spread to begin with. But first of all, the hounds. So, again, I'm attacking these 2 air defenses. I'm going to put 1 hound on each air defense. I want my balloons to be as closely behind the hounds as possible. Timing is everything for these attacks. If you launch your hounds like way up here and then are, and this is a good point I'm about to make here. If you drop your haste spells first, your hounds are going to zip into the base. And then you're going to be like trickling your loons like all behind them. And then your loons are going to do. Your hounds are going to get into the base way too quickly. They're going to get destroyed, and you're not going to have the impact that you want. It goes hounds, balloons, haste spells. And you have the biggest impact on getting into the base and getting your balloons to the core and supporting your hounds as quickly as possible. So what I do to give myself the most time to accomplish this is I launch my hounds. I want my hounds to have the longest travel time possible while also engaging other defenses on their way to that air defense as possible. So I launched this hound from way back here, this hound from way back here, because I want them to have a long travel time to give me the most time possible to launch my balloons. And I know that on the way there, it's going to pick up this expo, these archer towers, and that my balloons are pretty much going to be completely protected on their way into the base. Unfortunately, I still had my queen at the top doing some work on that wizard tower, archer tower, and inferno tower as well. So I got pretty fortunate there. My queen doesn't usually survive the kill squad. So again, the hounds come from a distance. The loons are pretty much right behind them. And then I think on this raid, I tried to select my haste spells, and they weren't selecting, and then so they were a little bit delayed. But typically, I want to try to get those in faster. But you can see that the position of my haste spells are basically allowing my balloons to cave in on the core of this base. Now, this is a pretty tightly knit base, or pretty condensed base, and I'm going to show you a replay after this that's a little bit more wide open, and you can kind of see the difference of how I launch things there. But because my haste spells are all close together, and they're not too far out, they're not way out here, they're basically, once my balloons are hitting the perimeter of the base, they're getting jolted right towards the core of the base and taking out those first perimeter defenses. And that's exactly what you want to accomplish with your haste spells. You don't want them way outside the base to where it gets them to the base quickly, but then it's slowly ping-ponging on these outer defenses while it makes its way to the core. It's too big of a gap between your haste spells and then your core spells. You want to have almost like a flower pattern. I think I talked about this in my last video, having like the paw print. Yes, the paw print. So your 4 haste spells, and then the rage spell, and you have your paw print there. So that's kind of how you want to think about it, and I think that's really the best visual I can give you. So here come the loons, and I mean, they're just crashing down so quickly. Look how fast they're into the core of the base. All those extra loons from the clan castle. Hey, I have the Grand Warden spell. Why the heck not? Yeah, it was a little early. Powering through that rage there. Second free spell, because I didn't even need to use that first one earlier. Right, my queen took out that other Inferno Tower, so I didn't have to use, I didn't really have to use two of them, but had the luxury. And the rest is just plowing the rest of this base over. Easy 3-star. Whether you're a Town Hall 10 or 11, this is an easy 3-star. And you should be able to 3-star bases like that. So let's kind of go into another one, and I'll touch on a few other points. And this one's going to be versus Town Hall 11. Alexia, oh my god. So here, again, I love attacking ring bases for a couple of reasons. One, the Inferno Towers and the Expos are very far away from their perimeter defenses, and that just makes it so easy for the balloons to crash in all these defenses and then use your spells to get them to the core. So if you place your haste spells right in here, your balloons are going to get to the core really quick. Whereas, again, if you place your haste spells way out here to try to get your balloons into the base quickly, they're going to drag, trying to get into the core. And what that's going to force you to do is going to force you to use spells too early. And then all of a sudden, your balloons are in the core and you're out of spells. And you have, your attack just kind of fizzles out. So you want good spell coverage. On this base, I noticed that the queen was down or sleeping, and then I noticed that, hey, these air defenses aren't really protected by a whole lot. I bet I can get both of them. So that's what I did. My wall breakers pretty much failed on that level 12 wall, because I think you need 4 max wall breakers to break through level 12 wall. Pretty cool. But still was able to accomplish my goal there. And got a few defenses with each of them with a few wizards behind. I'm going to use this dragon to kind of tank this archer tower here. And then where is the hound coming in? Hound coming in right there. Okay. So this is the other thing I wanted to show you. So the last video I had 2 defenses, 2 air defenses lined up in kind of a line there. This one I only had 1. So what I don't want to do is launch both hounds over here, and then that leaves the balloons exposed to these defenses here. So what you want to do is you want to kind of do the drag and sweep method. You want to basically drag your hound, not literally, but as you're doing this, your hound is kind of dragging the attention of all these defenses with it as it comes from there. I could have launched this a little bit closer to the wall there, and this would have been better. But you get the idea. What this does is it's going to pick up the attention of defenses. So you can actually see I did in fact get that archer tower engaged. It's going to pick up this archer tower. A balloon might have already gotten there early. But it's also going to make sure that the balloons are right behind that hound, which is totally what you want. So I did lose a couple of balloons there, but now I have the balloons basically right on top of the hounds, and that's going to be great. So the balloons are already hitting the base. The hounds have barely lost any health, and this is going very well so far. I didn't have a huge spread, so I only used a couple of haste spells there. And then first freeze on that rage spell. I dropped the second freeze a little too early here. I didn't have a ton of balloons going into the core, but used another haste, the rage spell, and then I'm going to use an extra haste on the backside there, along with a poison spell, to get those air skellies. And yeah, you really only need a few balloons to hit the air tower. But I mean, there was only 6, 8 balloons that took out that entire core there. Once they're raged up, man, rock on. So again, ring base is super susceptible. Try to, like I did, try to create a gap. You want that invisible wall. So when you attack from this side, your balloons are heading straight into the core because there's nothing over here, thus the invisible wall. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, that was a Town Hall 11, guys. With max expos Eagle Artillery and Inferno. I mean, it was just a bad base, but it just goes to show you if you just launch your balloons in that way, you're gonna have success. I don't always get 3 stars. You know, I do make mistakes still, but I barely ever lose raids. Barely ever lose raids. So that's the important thing. You want to just continue to get your loot bonus and get most of the loot that's available. Okay, let's go ahead and try a live raid. See what happens. Hopefully don't have to spend too much time in the clouds here. Sometimes the clouds can get a little lengthy. I was told that they do get a little bit better in Titan 1. I'm currently in Titan 2. Once it finds one base, it usually finds the next bases fairly shortly after. So, how about, yeah. Ooh. See, 15 cups is more than I usually see. If it's a decent amount of cups and it's something over, 200,000, I'll go for it because of the bonus is so high. Single target Infernos. The Queen's buried a little bit, but I kind of like this one. So I think we should give it a shot. See what happens. Just to show you that you can really kind of go for any base here. So I'm going to get my king down first to kind of tank for that archer tower. And then we're going to get the queen in right behind it. Let's just get him banging on that wall. And archer queen. And let's get those whiz in behind there. And then have that baby dragon tank that, go for that other archer tower up there. Should be able to get the queen pretty easily here. You can see the wizards are already attacking. So I've got the queen. I've got an air defense down. The baby dragon's going to finish. Oh, I missed my queen ability. Oh, no. I was paying attention to that baby dragon. So that kind of stinks. I probably would have been able to at least get that wizard tower. But that's okay. As far as the Eagle Artilleries, if you do decide to go up against one, I'm not super, intimidated by them. They do some damage, but they also fire kind of slow, and your balloons move through the base pretty fast. So I'm going to come from this top side here. I'm actually not sure where I want to come. Do I want to come around that corner? Alright, so I think I'm going to just go at 1 air defense to start with. So I'm going to launch my hounds way back, select balloons right in behind, and then Grand Warden, more balloons, and haste spells coming in. Uh-oh, we've got Clan Castle troops. Da-da-da! Get that rage spell down. Clan Castle troops kind of threw me off there. A little misplacement of the rage. I mean, really not my best effort. Didn't have the best funnel there. Too many of my balloons kind of went off to the side. I really should have wrapped my balloons a little bit more. But honestly, I still have a few balloons left. It didn't help, too, that I missed that Inferno Tower with that rage spell. So, yeah, really not the greatest, but not a loss. I mean, that's the big thing is I'm not taking losses. So, and sometimes I am able to, clear out enough of the way where I can pick off the town hall with some minions, which is always great. But yeah, 61%, decent bonus still, no big deal, no big loss, Some are going to go well and some aren't. So I think I am actually going to go back to 2 rage spells. I kind of wanted to try to go more haste, but the 1 rage spell in the core just doesn't seem like enough, especially with that one. I really wish I had a second rage spell. So yeah, not too shabby. It gives you the general idea. It's pretty foolproof, guys. And you're gonna be 3-starring more bases than you think. That was pretty much a max Town Hall 11, and I really could have done better on that base. It wasn't a great attack, but still 61%. so can't complain too much. Decent loot. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you're able to learn something. Is there anything I can help with? I can critique or replay. I will do my best. I'm still learning. Sorry, I think I paused myself there. I'm still learning myself to try to get better at these attacks. And just keep at it. Let me know if something works for you. Keep sharing, and we'll all continue to get better. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Fin on Fire out.